Conservatives are convinced that there is one tried and true way to get the economy going. Say it with me. Tax cuts. Specifically, they're into income tax cuts for the rich, capital gains tax cuts to free up investment, and corporate tax cuts. Of course, they want to get corporations some sort of an incentive to hire people and to expand. At least this is what they say. And I love how they're supposedly the party of tax cuts, but the one kind of tax cut that's actually good and defensible, they're not in favor of those. I'm talking about tax cuts for the middle class and tax cuts for the poor, too. No tax cuts for those people who they actually should get tax cuts, but everybody else, corporations, rich people, invest on investments, no taxes there. We want to lower it as much as possible. Well, this is how well the tax cuts that Republicans like, this is how well they work right here. Quote from Mediaite. In an attempt to get more people hired in Detroit, the city decided to award a $175 million tax break to Marathon Petroleum as it underwent a massive expansion project. This should have been enough to get a significant number of people hired, but today the city council blasted the refinery for using all that money to hire just 15 Detroit residents. The government gave this company $175 million. They hired 15 people. That's $11.6 million per job. What the fuck, man? What are you doing? Oh, that's embarrassing. You want to talk about a fail for right-wing ideology? That's as big of a fail as you can possibly get. Now, some might respond by saying, well, that's just one example. Don't let one bad apple spoil the bunch. That doesn't necessarily debunk the entire ideology or the entire belief in tax cuts. Well, let me give you a few more examples. How about when Chris Christie gave the food company Goya an $80 million tax break to create jobs in New Jersey? How did that work out? They created 9 jobs. 9 jobs. $80 million, 9 jobs. You do the math on that one. How about when, same thing in New Jersey, Campbell Soup was given $42 million to create jobs in Camden, and they cut 100 jobs. They were given $42 million to create jobs, and they cut 100 jobs. So you know what we learned? Here's what corporations do when you cut their taxes. They put that money in the bank. They keep it. When you give corporations money, they keep it. They don't create jobs. They don't expand. That's not a given. That's not like, oh, yes, that's definitely going to happen. No, it's not like a law, like the laws of physics, okay? They keep it. They keep the money. They pad their bottom line. Now, progressives have been saying this forever, that this doesn't work, right? Just empirically, we know it doesn't work. But Republicans have been steadfast. No. Reagan taught us this. We know Reagan is fantastic. The almighty saint, overlord, chancellor, emperor, Ronald Reagan, of whom I'd like to blow. That's what they really want to call him. We knew all along, but they said, no, you guys are wrong. Well, guess what? This is the nail in the coffin as far as I'm concerned. And furthermore, even if none of this were true, even if we didn't have any of this information, just look at it. I don't know if anecdotally is the right word, because this isn't anecdotal. This is probably just objective. But just look at what happened during the Reagan years and then right after. And look at what happened under George W. Bush and what happened after. Whenever you deregulate massively and you cut taxes for the rich and cut taxes for corporations, which is what Reagan did, which is what Bush did, you have a boom-bust cycle in the economy. And that means everything will take off, and everybody will go, oh my God, this is great. The economy's going to be fantastic forever. It happened back, with Herbert Hoover leading up to the Great Depression also. I think it was either the early 1920s or the 19-teens. He did the same thing, deregulate, cut taxes for the rich. Everything, oh my God, the roaring 20s, everything takes off. Or, the 80s were great. It was such a booming economy. And then what happened? As soon as Reagan left office, boom, recession. Big time recession. Of course, what happened when Herbert Hoover did it? Boom, the Depression. And then what happened when George W. Bush did it? Boom, the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession. So every time you deregulate and cut taxes for the rich or cut taxes for corporations, you have a boom-bust cycle. Everything looks fantastic and perfect, and then it falls off a fucking cliff because you're not creating real wealth. Okay, it's monopoly money, and you're also just giving gargantuan amounts of money to the rich, and then they turn around and put it in their bank accounts, and they don't create any more jobs.